So, just a few moments of silence before we begin. Om Shanti. Om Shanti is not just a word of greeting, but Om Shanti has a beautiful meaning. It's a word of self awareness, I would say. Om, this word has three letters AUM. And A stands for actions, U stands for utterance, and M stands for the mind. These are the three main activities of our life: to think, to speak, and to do. But there is no Shanti, no peace. Why? Because all the three are moving in different directions. Sometimes we have very good thoughts, but then we want to express those thoughts, but the words are not in harmony with our thoughts. Something else comes out. By the time we realize that whatever I have said is going to bring another impact, then we feel sorry. We have to say sorry and say, please try to understand my thoughts, my feelings. Don't just go after the words. And mostly in today's world, people look at the words and they start behaving accordingly. They can understand the feelings. They can understand what was the meaning behind these words, but still they feel as if, no, this is the time I can catch this person. So the intentions are completely different. And then when we come into action, something else happens. And then we say, this is not what I thought. This is not I meant to do. How did this happen? So I've thought something else, I've said something else, and my actions are completely different. When there is no harmony between my inner activities, how can there be peace? Peace can only come in life when all the three are functioning in harmony with one another. So when we say Om Shanti, it's not just a word like hello, hi, good morning. It's a word of self-awareness that I have to be aware within and see whether all the three activities are functioning in harmony with one another. Why? Why do we need to have this awareness? Because life in the present time is like a seagoing adventure, I would say. Just like Christopher Columbus, when he started his journey, he had no definite maps with him. And he set out on a journey to chart some new territories. As he went, there were times when said there was so much turbulence, and he was unaware of the turbulence of the sea. He was also not aware of the wild sea creatures because that was his first time. He was not even aware of the silently moving undercurrents. And he set out on this journey. He was successful to a certain extent. Life is also such. We have also set out into the unknown future where we have no definite maps with us of the future times. We are not even aware of the type of turbulent times that we might go through. The storms and the hurricanes in life. Hardly we are prepared to face those storms and hurricanes. We are not even aware of the silently moving undercurrents in our own life of some nature. We are not even aware of the types of creatures that may be after us in the future times. The sharks and the whales. And hardly we are prepared for all of this. And we have set out on this journey into the unknown future. No maps, no compass. Christopher Columbus at least had a compass to show him the direction in which he's heading for. But we have no compass. So our life is totally at the mercy of? Yes, anyone? God. And do we know who God is? There are so many gods in this world whom to rely on. So we are totally at the mercy of? Yes? Time and destiny is in your hands. That is what is said. Destiny is in your hands. And we don't know where our life is going. We are moving, something comes up, situation, and we change our direction. We go in this way, something happens, we again change our direction. Something happens, we again. So our life is totally at the mercy of crisis. In today's age, we are more of crisis driven than a vision driven. And therefore, we need a compass, at least, to guide us into the right direction. The compass is ancient wisdom, which we have lost. Now is the right time, at least, to find that compass that can guide us into the right direction. Because there is so much upheavals that are coming up one after the other in our life. And if we don't have this compass, a person will be completely lost in the future times. He will not be able to handle his own life, which is so precious. And by the time he realizes, it may be too late for him to handle his life. So at least we have to be aware of my inner mechanism, which is within my control. And the ancient wisdom becomes like a manual which can help us. Because our saints and sages who have written these books, this holy text, they wrote it on the basis of some visions that they had about the future. Just as Nostradamus, when he saw the future of the world 500 years ago, he wrote it down. This is going to happen. He wanted to prepare us. But he wrote it in a very rich language, in a poetic form, that till today, people are reading those predictions but are not able to understand. When things happen, then people realize, yes, this was said by him in this way, but we did not understand. So they are not able to take precautions in their life because the language was such. Similarly, the sages and saints across the world, in India and other places, on the basis of the samadhi or the transcendental stage in which they used to sit, and they used to go into that transcendental stage in those trances, they were able to visualize the future times. But what they wrote was in form of a story, like the story of Mahabharata, the story of Ramayana, or various other stories. They wrote it in the form of a story to make people understand it easily and they can apply it. Nostradamus just wrote what is going to come. But some of the saints and sages, they were able to write this in form of a story so that it can be applied by the future people as things come up in life. Just as, for an example, if there is a small child and I want to tell him one simple moral of life, and the moral of life is one simple teaching: speak truth, don't speak lies. Normally, we tell this to our children: speak truth, always speak the truth. But every day, if I just get up in the morning and give him this piece of advice, he won't understand the depth of it. But on the basis of my experience, if I create a story from my own imagination of the mind, where I take up one character as truth and one character as a person who would always adopt lies, and I put it in a form of a beautiful story that how it was easy for him to speak lies, but gradually he created so much problems for him, people lost trust from him, and ultimately he ends up in a phase where he loses everything. But for the person who adopted the path of truthfulness, many challenges came up. He had to go through all the challenges, but each time when he went through a challenge, it was making him strong within. Each time he was tested, his truth was tested and tried, he became powerful inside. He became strong. He was full of determination, and ultimately he won the battle of life. When I tell this story, the story is always remembered by children. And whenever times come in their life to make a choice of truth or false, there are two paths in front of him, where he has to make a choice which path to adopt. And he remembers that story and he thinks, let me try out truth. He's well prepared inside. There will be challenges. But all these challenges are going to make me strong inside. And ultimately, I'll win the battle of life. He is reminded of that also, that to speak lies is easy. But then he is going to make his life so complicated day by day. People will lose trust from him. Okay, so now I adopt truth. And he's well prepared for all the challenges. And ultimately, when he wins in life, what is the happiness that he experiences? Imagine. So, our sage and saints, they also realized, all the divine souls, they realized that in the future times there will be so many challenges, so many problems, so many situations. The life will be so complicated, full of turbulence. So they shared the wisdom so that people are able to compare that life with those stories and take inspiration from it. Let us try out the best so that we can win the battle of life. And this is how they came up with those stories. But unfortunately, I would say, we are hardly interested in those stories also. We are hardly interested in all those stories which had some meaning in it, and we cannot apply those teachings in the present time thinking it was meant for those times. No, during those ancient times, life was not that complicated, which we experience in the present time. So those teachings were for the present time only, because that is what they had seen in the visions. And they wanted to give it as a manual to human beings. But we are least interested in that. And that is why we have not kept those manuals in our homes also. And ultimately we can see how life is taking course for people, and some people are landing up in depression, and the quality of their life is completely negative, ruined, I would say, scattered in life. They are nowhere. So actually, this is the right time when we realize that ancient wisdom is for the modern times only. I just take an example of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is very well accepted throughout the world. People had tried to read Bhagavad Gita because that's the only book in the entire world which says God speaks in the first person. Bhagavan Vach. And so his message for the human beings at large. So every religion also wanted to understand Bhagavad Gita, because everyone knew, and even the divine souls had taken the teachings from Bhagavad Gita itself. Just as a mother, if she has 5 children, and we see that there are different qualities of the mother in every children. They're not the same. One child may have one quality, another child may have another quality of the mother. The third child may have another quality of the mother that he has inculcated in his life. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita is also said to be the mother of all religions. And each religion is the child for Bhagavad Gita. So, each religion has picked up something from the mother and preached that to their people. But as I said, when Bhagavad Gita is not understood, how can the children be understood also? And they are also misunderstood. But God has given very beautiful wisdom in simple words, and the sages have put it in a very complicated language, I would say, like Sanskrit, and people are not interested in Sanskrit at all. And Sanskrit is a language where one word has 10 meanings. So when they read it, they feel it is difficult to understand. It has to be decoded. Just as Nostradamus, whatever he had written, had to be decoded. Similarly, this ancient wisdom also has to be decoded for the present time. And they knew that in the future, the people will be very intelligent. They will know how to decode it. But we didn't use our intelligence in decoding Bhagavad Gita. We decode so many things in life, but we were not able to decode the ancient wisdom to apply it in our life. So Bhagavad Gita teaches about the first thing, when Arjuna is shown to be a person who from childhood was going through so much in his life. He lost his father. They were not treated equally with the cousins, which is happening in today's world also. There is always a partiality with them. They are always kept at the backstage, and their cousins are given everything. And they still accepted it. But then comes the time when everything has crossed its limits. That is when Arjuna feels now is the time. So, God also tells him, you have to fight. You will have to fight. It is not a physical battle or a violent battle that God is talking about. It is the battle of life, where each one is struggling. There is no one who is not struggling in life. And that's when God also motivates us and tells us, you will have to fight this battle of life. But on the basis of what? Many a times he has fought wars single-handed, and he has always won the wars. But when the time of Mahabharata comes and all his limits are pushed till the end, and he feels now what to do. He is depressed, nervous. He lays down his instruments and he tells God, I don't want to fight anymore. The same condition of individuals in the modern times. Everyone has all the skills, all the talents, everything that they need in life, they are blessed with by God. We have fought many struggles of life and we have come to this time. But there are times in our life also when we feel, now I have had enough. I don't want to fight anymore. Let people do whatever they want to do. We give up. And that is the time when God, He rings those words in our minds. You have to fight. You will have to fight this battle of life. I am by your side. Victory is yours. He's trying to motivate us. But still we are so nervous and so scared maybe, or so much humiliated many a times that we feel as if we don't want to face this. We have accepted life as it is. And we become so nervous, so low, so low. That's the same condition what Arjuna is shown to be in. And when he said, I don't want to fight, he laid down his arms. We also have so much of potential, but we lay down our potential and we say, no, now it's enough. I don't want to fight anymore. That's when the wisdom starts. The wisdom starts. So it was not just for Arjuna, one Arjuna, but in this world, in this unknown future times, we are all Arjunas. Arjuna means the one who imbibes, the one who inculcates. Whatever teachings is given by God, hi, saying hi, and is accepted. And he fights on the basis of that. And when he fights on the victory is his. He's victorious. So it is not just the story of Arjuna, but us all. That was written by the sages and saints 5,000 years back. Seeing the present time. Not only that, of an individual and the mental state of an individual, but it is a story of a family as well. The Kuru family, where there are Pandavas and Kauravas. Pandavas are the ones who are always on the side or on the path of values, and Kauravas are always adopting the negative path of violence, of all negativities in life. If we see this world as a family, there are these two types of people in today's world as well. The Pandavas and the Kauravas. The ones who are leading on the path of values, righteousness, and the ones who are leading on the path of unrighteousness. But we have to stay with them. We have to be with them. And we have to struggle with whatever they are doing, but still not give up our path of righteousness. So it's a story of a family. It's a story of a society. That there are elements like Shakuni in today's world, in today's society. Are they? Are there elements like Shakuni? The most wicked ones? Who tries to create differences amongst brothers? There are such certain elements like Shakuni in the world. Trying to play games with those who are on the path of righteousness and trying to humiliate them every time. Yes, this is happening in the world. So it's a story of a society as well. It's a story of a nation where the king is blind. Dhritarashtra. Rashtra means nation. Where the feelings of deceit are filled and blind, not with this physical eyes, but blind in ego. He was so egoistic, blind in greed, blind in attachment, blind in possessing everything for himself only. Nothing has to be shared and given to others. That was what he was blind in. He was not able to see the truth, what is happening with the righteous people. And instead of supporting them, he was supporting the unrighteousness. And this is happening in the world, in the nations. So wisdom and salvation for that as well is given in Bhagavad Gita. and the world at large, where each and every human being has forgotten the ancient wisdom and they are trying to look for it but not able to find it. They're not able to find the right manual. So they are lost. They are searching for it. Whatever comes to them, they want to adapt them. Try it out, try it out. Maybe this can help, maybe that can help. And in that name, there are so many types of meditation in the world because Bhagavad Gita is about yoga. But that yoga is translated at the physical level in form of exercises, that's all. Pranayam, asanas, that's all at the gross level. But nowhere in Bhagavad Gita has God taught Arjuna any asanas, any pranayam, any exercises. So that means yoga has another meaning as well, which people are unaware of. So that is why so many meditations have come up in the world. So many types of spiritual inputs are given to people in the world, and people are ready to accept that. Let us try this out for us. Let us try this out for us. Maybe it may work. And then when it doesn't work, they feel as if they have just wasted their time. Then they search for something else. And this is happening constantly, isn't it? And Bhagavad Gita has mentioned all of this. So when I say meditation, God taught Arjuna meditation. What was that meditation? Because meditation works. But for that, in the second chapter itself, God said, first realize who you are. Realize your true identity. Realize your true nature. What is your true nature? And nobody is able to explain that, decode that aspect to us. What is our real identity? Yes, we all know there are two aspects of ourself. One is the acquired self and one is the innate self. Two aspects. We are very well aware of the acquired self, whatever I've acquired from this world. And I project myself on the basis of that acquired self as my true identity, not knowing that that is not my true self. That is just acquired in one birth. But what is my true identity? What is my innate identity? That has to be realized. So those two aspects is mentioned as the body and the spirit, the soul and the body. The acquired self is the body, whatever body has received, all the positions, the titles, the awards, whatever we have acquired in this world with the body. But the innate, that is the spirit, is something else. Nobody is able to decode that. Until today, we have always been moving around with all those labels that I've acquired. And I project myself on the basis of that and feel that is my true achievement, unaware of the real achievement in life. So these two aspects, the body and the soul. What does the body need to survive? To survive in this world, what does the body require? The 5 elements of nature, right? The body wants water. We are thirsty. We want water. Why? Because 60 to 70% of this body contains water. We all need oxygen. Why? Because this body is made up of oxygen. Right? We all need food. because the body is made up of earth. So the body requires the 5 elements of nature for its survival. That is the identity of this acquired self. No matter what religion we come from, no matter what background we come from, no matter what nationality we come from, no matter whatever positions I come from. But each and every human being needs these 5 elements of nature for their survival. Whether they are rich or they are poor, whether they are white or black, whether they are whatever nationality. Everyone requires these 5 elements of nature. And that's why nature has given the 5 elements of nature to all the residents of this world. Not discriminated. Okay, India will get this quality and Japan will get this quality or US may get this quality. No. Nature did not make any difference, given equally. Similarly, the inner self, the higher self or the innate self, which is my true identity, do we also require something for survival in this body? Do we need something to survive in this body? Yes. The body needs 5 elements of nature. But the spiritual self, the higher self, does that also require something for survival in this body? What?
Strength.
Huh? We need strength. What else? Love. What else do we need? What else do we need? Knowledge. Anything else? Consciousness? For what? The soul has consciousness.
The pure one.
You are one.
Pure one.
We are the pure one. So we need purity, isn't it? Peace. What else do we need in life? Dignity. Values, happiness. Bhakti also for what?
Right, or maybe to concentrate more towards.
We all need 7 things. The body needs 5. But the soul, the higher self needs 7.
Grateful heart.
Graceful heart. The first thing we all need is, as somebody mentioned, knowledge, understanding. We are mostly misunderstood in our lives, isn't it? Each and every step. We always want people to understand my feelings, my nature, whatever I am. So the first thing we need is understanding, knowledge. And that is becoming so complicated in today's world and so many misunderstandings. And people get frustrated when they are misunderstood, isn't it? And the only complaint they have, why don't you try to understand me? Even children, they tell their parents, why don't you understand me? You don't understand what I mean. Don't they tell you? So this is the first thing that we require, and that is understanding, knowledge. Not the knowledge of the world, but the knowledge that people can understand me, whatever I mean to say, what I say. And therefore, somebody has rightly said, we have lost wisdom in knowledge, and we have lost knowledge in information. Today is the world of information. People have so much information about everything, but no knowledge, no common sense. No common sense. And no wisdom at all. So we have lost wisdom in knowledge, and we have lost knowledge in information. And the more information that people have, the higher the ego. We know everything. You can't say anything to a child. Do this. I know everything. This is what you'd hear from a child. I know, you don't know. I know everything. I know how to do it. Don't tell me every moment, isn't it? This is what the children of today, they have lot of information. Lot of information. But still they make so many mistakes at every step. And then we say, look, you didn't have the common sense. Oh, we know. Don't tell me. And so at a very young age, they feel as if they have been dominated by the parents and they want to live alone. Go alone out in the world. We want to chart the world. Only on the basis of information. No knowledge, no wisdom. And where do they land up? Every time when they are misunderstood in the world, there is a lot of frustration. That dignity is hurt. They lose confidence of the self. And then they land up in depression. Or they become druggists just to forget everything. What is the quality of their life? So the first thing we need is knowledge or understanding. Together with that, we need is pure feelings and good wishes. Purity. That is my real identity. A child when it's born, so pure. So pure. That is the real identity. But we have moved away from this real identity, from this purity, far away. Being in this impure world, impurity in our thoughts, in our words, in our actions, everywhere in our feelings. So much of negativity is filled because we have moved away from that real identity, that purity. So no knowledge, no understanding, which has, because on the basis of information that has boosted the ego, which is complete ignorance. Ego means ignorance. The greatest ignorance in life is ego. That has boosted the ego. And no purity. So where are we? We have moved far away from our real identity. And because there is ego, there is impurity in life, no love. No pure feelings, so no love. Instead of love, there is love just expressed at a physical level, at a gross level, that's all. No real love. And we are all aspiring for real love in this world. Even small children, when you just say something to them, they feel so taken back, they think, you don't love me. And you try to express, oh no, I love. This is not love. This is not the love I want. So no real love. That is why people are entering a world of hatred, terrorism. Why has terrorism taken birth? So much of hatred. So much of hatred. They want to kill everyone. They don't care for the value of human life. No love. And when the three are not there, no understanding, no purity, no love, no peace. No peace in life. Restlessness. Uncomfortable feeling. The mind is not at ease. It is so much of restless, uncomfortable. And we all want peace. We all want peace in life. And no peace. People feel that absence of war is peace. No, that is not peace. Absence of thoughts is peace. No, absence of thoughts is not peace. So people ask to do meditate, make your mind silent. Don't think at all. That will give you the experience of peace. No, that is not peace actually. Together with that, when the four are not there, no happiness. No real happiness. When people smile, there is so much that is deeply kept inside. The smiles are also artificial in this world. Yes? No happiness. And when there is no happiness, no peace, no love, no bliss, which is the highest achievement, Ananda. And people want to experience this Ananda, bliss. They're in search for that. They go to so many solace places, into the Himalayas maybe, to learn different types of meditation, to practice it, so that they are away from the world and they experience bliss. But when there is no happiness, how can they experience bliss? In order to experience happiness, people join laughter clubs. They go out into the garden because they cannot smile at home. Even if they smile at home, the first thing that their family members would ask them, what is it that is making you smile so much today? Yeah. And if we do not want to disclose the reason for our smile, and we say just for, well, can't we smile? We are human beings. We can smile. And they would say, are you okay? How can you smile without a reason? Are you okay? They feel they are not okay. So no happiness, no bliss. And when the six are not there, no power, no strength, no soul strength. The soul is not at all strong from inside. So, because all these are not values, they are powers. Power of knowledge, power of purity, power of love, power of peace, power of happiness, powers. In short, I would say, this seven qualities is my real identity. And this seven qualities is the battery of the soul, the energy of the soul. But in today's age, this battery is completely discharged. We charge our mobiles regularly. Just imagine if one day we forget to charge our mobile, what will happen? So much of, and that day, if it is an important day, lot of frustration. The mobile is not working. The mobile is not working. And then we look for a power bank from here and there and we try to find out something. And still, it's not helping us. No power bank, no points to charge. And there is a lot of frustration created. When did we last charge our soul battery? Do you ever remember? When we took birth, we were fully charged. And after that, we use that energy throughout life all these years, never charged. The battery was so powerful, it went on all these years. But now we need something to charge us. We need those power banks to charge at least for whatever time is left in our life. We want to experience a good quality life. And this is where it begins with knowledge. It begins with knowledge. That is why in Bhagavad Gita also, Arjuna was given the 18 chapters of knowledge, first of all, given the understanding of the real self. Who is that self? How have we wandered away from that right path? Knowledge, the spiritual wisdom, is the first thing that we need. Because when that gets charged, then definitely we are able to have the strength, because knowledge is power, knowledge is light. That is what it is said. Knowledge is power, knowledge is light. It can give me the light to move in my life, and it will also give me the strength to move. To move where? It will give me the direction and the power to move back to my real identity, to my real self, to that pure self, that pure identity. I am that pure being. When we see a very young baby, so attractive, what is it that is attracting us? When the baby smiles, without any reason, we don't ask the baby, are you okay? No, because that is the real identity. Each one of us, our real identity is also that pure self. Because that small baby does not have any impurity towards anyone. So pure. That is what is attracting me. Why? Because my inner self is also that. I was also basically a pure being. So when the knowledge is there, it gives light and power to go back to the real identity. The moment we go near to that real, that is love. Love for the self. Love for others. When we love ourselves, we are able to love others. But in today's world, people love themselves so much that there is selfishness. But when there is altruistic love for the self and for others, we are giving, giving, giving. There is no expectations. If this person would love me, then I would give this, or I would, no bargaining. There is bargaining in the world. But when there is true love, there is no bargaining, there is only acceptance, no expectations. Because the battery is fully charged, it is getting charged, so the feeling of giving, accepting comes the way. Accept as they are and give whatever we can give. Not anything in physical. There are so many things that we can give in this world. Everything is giving. Look at nature. Nature is giving. The sun is giving. The trees are giving. The rivers are giving. No expectations. They are constantly giving, giving, giving. Not only that, whatever human beings have created in this world, that is also giving. The chair that you are seated on, it's giving you comfort. If I remove all the chairs and ask you to sit down, what will happen? You'll run away. Huh? We can't listen because everyone has some or the other physical problems. They cannot sit on the floor. So the chair is giving you comfort. The mic is giving you, the lights are giving you, the hall is giving you, everything is giving you. And all this is created by human beings. The AC is giving you. All the human creation is also giving without expecting. The only thing is, human beings, they are taking, taking, taking. And in this process, they've forgotten giving. So when we have stopped giving, our expectations rise to get. The maximum I want to get. What happens? No happiness in life. No peace in life. The moment we start giving and accepting, there is real peace, inner satisfaction, and happiness that is experienced. The bliss is experienced. So, giving. And the fifth is, when there is peace, there is happiness, there is bliss, and that is when the battery is charged with the power. So when we sit in meditation, we bring our consciousness to that real self. That is true meditation that is taught in Bhagavad Gita. Stabilize in your Swadharma. And Swadharma means the dharma, the religion of the self, which is the 7 qualities. When I stabilize my consciousness in these 7 qualities, I'm a pure being, I'm a peaceful being, I'm a loveful being, I'm a happy being, and I be that. We are all human beings. So let us be the 7 qualities. And then you feel you are charging your battery. More you are able to be, you charge. The more you expect, you discharge. Let us be. And this is meditation, be. So you charge your batteries fully. This is what the ancient wisdom says in Bhagavad Gita. And then we are able to win the battle of life at every step, because this is power. And in the world, there is no power, all negativities. So negativities can never win. It is only on the basis of this positive qualities that we are able to win the battle of life. This was the teaching that Arjuna was given in Bhagavad Gita. Stabilize yourself in your original transcendental nature. And the original transcendental nature is the 7 qualities, which is my real identity, my real self. And I've moved away from that. And I need to bring my consciousness back to that original self and see life. You'll really enjoy your life, every step. Even if there are challenges, but you are so internally empowered with the 7 qualities that you will be able to win the battle of life. Whatever things come up, whatever challenges come up, whatever problems come up, but you are able to handle yourself and the situation as well on the basis of these 7 qualities. So we need to empower ourselves. We are completely disempowered, discharged. The moment I be, I charge myself. And I start radiating that energy and give others as well. Right? So can we do a little bit of meditation?
We might have a few Q&A.
Sure.
Because after meditation.
Okay.
So, of course, she will lead us into meditation. This will be the best part of the program. But I thought before that, if anybody wants to ask something or comment on what she said, everything's about life, isn't it? So any question about life or personally or even otherwise, and then something's in your heart and you want to ask. So if you ask now, then you can have the good meditation at the end, I feel. So is there anything that any of you would like to know more? We will go around and give you the mic. The first one is Arjuna. So who wants to be Arjuna today? One who takes initiative. Yes.
Om Shanti. Could you please elaborate love versus compassion?
A beautiful question, love versus compassion. When there is compassion, there is like merciful feelings connected with it. Love is just taking care, caring. Love is more of caring. But when there is compassion, we want to help others. We have feelings of mercy, we want to give, isn't it? In love, most of the time in today's world, there is more of expectation than giving. So that is why love has become impure. Because true love means to give. But there is no feelings of compassion, no feelings of mercy. So the love has become impure. But when they get together, it is not compassion different for poor people or for those who are needy. I show compassion, I help them. And in the family life, there is no love, no compassion. Now we cannot separate them. When love is full of compassion, mercy, and this is what Mahatma Buddha, in fact, preached, that when there is compassion and merciful feelings, and whatever we do, it is true love. That is love. And even I would say Jesus Christ mentioned that only. Love thy neighbors as you would love thyself. God is love. God is truth. This is what he also preached. But in a different way. Mahatma Buddha practically followed and showed that compassion. So spirituality means connecting both together. That is the ancient wisdom. Right? Anything else?
Yes.
Yes?
The ego, right? I read somewhere like you can relate ego as edging God out,
Yes.
and it's the strongest enemy, actually, according to me. Please guide us how to minimize the effect, or is there any quality? I prefer to seva actually. So if you do lots of seva, ego goes down.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And is there anything else practically? And then another thing I want to ask, what is sitting right here, the new knowledge. I mean the knowledge they get in all the apps they get in their mobile, and the ancient knowledge as you were talking about earlier. How to balance them, or how to implement in those? I mean, the kids, of course, you take them to the satsang, they catch some permanently. I mean, how to do that?
Regularly also, if we tell them stories, they are interested in listening to stories, small kids. And we give them beautiful stories on the basis of some moral values or something, and they are interested. But if we're giving them advice, they won't like it. But if we tell them stories, they may try to bring that story or the essence of the story in their practical life, because everyone is intelligent. They want to do it themselves. Don't want anyone to show them, or you do this, no domination. But we tell them a story in a detached way. And definitely, that's why in the olden days, there were stories of dadis and nanis was told to them. And when, in fact, we also learned on the basis of those stories. Well, we did not have many stories, but we had some stories. And we still remember throughout our life, at this age also, we remember those stories, how we were explained by someone elder in our families. And we have tried out those things, and on the basis of those experiences only, we are trying to guide the children. But our way of guidance is sometimes wrong. We need to tell them stories, inspire them, and let them do it themselves. They'll love that, isn't it?
He was saying, Gaurav, that's his son sitting next to him, is it? So Gaurav, what do you have to say? We'd like to hear what you want to say about this balance of present day information and what the ancient is coming. What do you think about it? That's
I feel a lot of it goes hand in hand. Um, the world is not so much different as sister was saying earlier. Things we hear that happen in the Mahabharata are still going on today, such as jealousy in families, and um, obviously I just said jealousy is as a negative example, but there are many positive examples that happened in the past and they're still happening today. So I don't think ancient wisdom and new world wisdom is very different.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes it's portrayed in negative light, but when you look at things from a different perspective, you also see why the new generation looks at the same concept in a different manner.
Yeah.
Thank you. Vivian, can I ask you to come in front? Yes, yes, there will be, but if you come, it's nice.
Can I? Hello. You have mentioned that life is driven by crisis.
Crisis, yeah.
Yeah. But the subsequent course of life would be driven by the choices you make in
You
that
make in
crisis.
life, yeah.
In that crisis.
In that crisis, yes.
So does the ancient wisdom help in making that choice?
It helps a lot, great deal. In ancient wisdom, if it is there, we make the right choices. Not that we make choices abruptly and then land up in something, learn a lesson, and then we regret throughout. Oh, if I would have done this, if I would have done that, if I would have done this, if I would have thought upon it. So these are the regrets that people have in today's life. That is why they land up in depression. It is because they're not able to let go of that regret. And that regret starts hovering their minds. So they land up somewhere where the complete energy, mental energy, spiritual energy is drained. Why people are experiencing stress in today's life? Everyone, see a small child also going to school, and next day if he has exams, oh, I'm so stressed. And if you ask him the meaning of stress, he won't be able to define it. But what is stress? Just as when a person, if there is a little bit of change of weather outside, affects their body, cough, cold, fever, etc. We go up to the doctor, he would say, it's a viral fever, nothing else. Take this medicine for 3 days and it will be okay. And if you ask him, why did I get this viral fever? He will say, your physical immunity is low. So the immunity is not there to fight against this virus. That is why you have caught up this virus. The same thing, when a person has stress, anger, whatever the negativities are, it is because the spiritual immunity has come down so much. The spiritual immunity is not there, so the mind is reacting in form of anger, in form of ego, in form of something else, because it does not have that spiritual immunity. So ancient wisdom, when it is applied, the spiritual immunity increases. And when the spiritual immunity is there, you are able to make the right choices. There are no regrets. But if the spiritual immunity is not there, you tend to make a wrong choice and then regret. Some come out of it if they are motivated by some of the people around them. But if there is no one, it is very difficult for them to come out of it. So definitely spiritual wisdom increases, enhances our spiritual immunity. And we are able to fight against whatever problems, challenges that we have to face. It makes us strong from within. Right? Anything else? Yes.
Anyone from this side?
Sisters are all
Yeah, sister.
powerful.
Yeah,
Huh?
that gives you a bit. Next is the sisters, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Uh, we as parents have gone through the era of Gita and wisdom, and we have also know that how do we pass on to our younger generation, let's to our grandchildren, uh, because there's no patience, there is nobody will read such a 18 chapters in life. How do we do that?
That's what I said in form of stories. You can tell them. If they ever come to you and let me share a story with you at night, maybe in some way or the other, and you give some inputs gradually. Once they like your stories, they would come to you again and again.
We have something from this side. One. Everyone is looking at each other. Because we're going to have meditation soon, so if you can, the question now will be better.
All contented, I feel.
I think they have all the answers to life. I could maybe Usha will ask you some questions. Right, Usha?